So I love the United States.
Love of one's country can be a mighty motivator. In sport, it is heard most often during an Olympic year. This is such a year. Hundreds of young boxers across the nations have stepped under the flag seeking an Olympic opportunity. And this weekend, the final 24 take part in the U.S. Olympic boxing trials. Many stories and many names have come from these trials. Cassius Clay started the Muhammad Ali legend in 1960. 1964, Joe Frazier had the luck. When Buster Mathis broke a thumb, Frazier went on to win the gold. 1968, Big George Foreman was overpowering all the way to the gold medal in Mexico City. 1972, Olympic boxing trials. Dwayne Bobbitt came from the Navy for a shocking win over a fighter named Larry Holmes. 1976, the flashing hands and speed of Sugar Ray Leonard went center ring. 1984, the man on the right, Mike Tyson, lost a fight in the trials to Henry Tillman. And now come the new ones. So young they seem, but carved from the same fiber as all those who have come before. This Olympic year, U.S. boxers will travel far to Seoul, Korea.
5 minutes east of San Francisco Bay in the heart of Diablo Valley lies the community of Concord, California. Tucked into these rolling foothills is the Concord Pavilion, which will serve this weekend as the amateur boxing capital of America. Today, America's premier amateur boxers square off for a shot at the games of the 24th Olympiad. Hello again, everyone. Looking for yet another fight. And we'll talk with 110-meter hurdler Greg Foster, the 1987 world champion, who may miss the Olympics because of a broken arm. But for the story on today's boxing, let's go live now to ringside and my pal and colleague, Keith Jackson. Keith?
Frank, thanks very much. There are several points I think we need to make before we begin this live coverage of 2 days of competition, 6 title bouts out of the trials today and 6 again tomorrow. I guess first the question is, who are these young people? Where do they come from and how did they get here? Because the road to any Olympic Games is long and has some bumps. There were 8 fighters from 12 weight categories brought here, 96 in total, to Concord, California. Now, 2 of them came out of the U.S. Championships in Colorado Springs, 2 in each weight class. 2 more in each of the 12 weight classes came from the Armed Forces Championship held in San Diego. And 1 each came out of the National Golden Gloves, Omaha, Nebraska. 1 each from the Eastern Olympic Trials, which were held in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 1 from the Western Trials, which were held in Houston, Texas. And then 1 in each weight class was chosen by committee from the select team. Now, once in Concord, California, for the Olympic trials, the quarterfinals were held Tuesday, the semifinals held Thursday, and the 6 finals today, and then 6 more tomorrow. And the 12 winners will go from here next weekend to Las Vegas. And there they'll have the box-off against the top challenger, or as the Federation phrases it, the most noteworthy opponent. This is done to make sure the 12 best will make the trip to the Olympics in Seoul, Korea. Now, this U.S. Olympic boxing team at this time does not have a head coach. Ken Adams held that job, but he got into a ruckus with a controller of the Federation, allegedly assaulted him after an argument and an altercation. Adams was suspended. He has appealed that suspension. A hearing is scheduled for next week. A final decision will be made at that time. Either Adams will be reinstated or a new person will be named the head coach of the U.S. Olympic boxing team, and they sorely need that issue to be settled at this particular time. There are 2 17-year-olds that will fight in this tournament. There is a 27-year-old that will fight in this tournament. They come from all walks of life and from all over the country. 2 titles have already been decided here in these Olympic trials. At 132 pounds, Romalis Ellis of Ellenwood, Georgia, took a 5-0 decision over Lyndon Walker of Washington, D.C. It was a very good fight, and Ellis earns his way into the box off next week in Las Vegas. At 147 pounds, the welterweight Ken Gould on the left of Rockford, Illinois, took a 5-0 decision over Ron Morgan of Cincinnati, and so Kenny Gould is off to Las Vegas as well. We hope we'll have some time to show you some highlights from those two fights later on. We're standing by now for 119 pounds, Kennedy McKinney and Jemal. We're back in Concord, California, and we're going to have live coverage now of the Olympic trials in just a moment. First, let us set the rules. They are different from professional boxing. Scoring a 20-point must with 5 judges. Referee doesn't have a vote. Scoring a blow must come with the landing of the white knuckle portion of the closed glove. Headgear mandatory. Doctor can stop the bout at any time. 3-minute rounds, and it is closely supervised and controlled. A key point, too, a knockdown counts only as 1 punch. Now, in the semifinals, bantamweight Kennedy McKinney was dropped by veteran Michael Collins. Stiff right hand, he sort of crumpled. Now, McKinney got off the floor and won the fight. That was scored as 1 punch and 1 punch only on the scorecards of the 5 judges. So keep that in mind as we go through the fight. And now we go to the ring. And coming out of the red corner in the blue shirt, that is Kennedy McKinney, now living in Killeen, Texas. Jemal Hinton from District Heights, Maryland, is in the white. He's fighting out of Sugar Ray Leonard's club, graduate of Eleanor Roosevelt High School last year. He's in the white, and Kennedy McKinney in the blue. McKinney is more of an upright fighter, more of a counter-puncher than Hinton. Hinton, on the other hand, will point you a little bit, sets his feet wide apart. That gives him the foundation for some very good power. But right there is an example of where McKinney hopes to work best today. There's a good short right hand inside by Hinton that jarred McKinney. But McKinney is hoping that combinations, and particularly the quick combinations at range, will help him in controlling the power of Jemal Hinton. Now, Hinton defeated McKinney on points in the finals of the National Amateur Championship. Hinton will sting you. Alex Wallow scheduled to be with us on these telecasts this weekend. His health not permitting him to make the trip. We hope he'll be able to join us next weekend in Las Vegas for the box office. He feels much as I do and the rest of us about these young people. You've got to believe in them and give them support and help them. And this group of young Olympians looks very, very promising. It's been a long, bumpy road to get this far, and it ain't over. Jemal Hinton in the white, Kennedy McKinney in the blue shirt. Good, hard, straight right hand whipped in there by Hinton. I'll tell you one thing, Kennedy McKinney cannot stand in front of Jemal Hinton, give him that much of a target. If he does, Hinton's going to pick him to pieces. The referee in this fight is Carmen Williamson. He does not have a vote. The judges are Jerry Dusenberry, Ray Cartier, Elmo Adolph, Bill Wackerly, and Vern Sweeney. They do all the balloting. Carmen Williamson, retired now after some 43 years as a government employee. Working for 43 years, Carmen said it was time to go really enjoy things, and he's doing it. And there's a wicked combination right there by McKinney. Very good counter-punching on the break. Hinton stepped in, threw his punch to the body, and McKinney made him pay for it. Both fighters landed in that exchange. Come off about even, and that's a good shot by McKinney again to the head of Hinton. The left hand is pretty stiff, put out there by McKinney. And round 1 to go. Round number 2. At 119 pounds, bantamweights, Jemal Hinton in the white and Kennedy McKinney in the blue. I would say coming off that first round, it's probably very close in the scoring. I thought McKinney might need to be a little bit busier because it was Hinton who made much of the fight. So McKinney scored well as a counterpuncher, but you've got to help make the fight. Otherwise, it'll hurt you when it comes time to totaling the points. Jemal Hinton Hinton's younger brother, or older brother, Van Daly, lost in the quarterfinals here at the trial. Flurry on the ropes. Good right hand thrown by McKinney. But Hinton pins him right back into the ropes and pummels him. Finally, McKinney fights his way off, but Hinton right now is having the better of this flurry. That's a hard left straight to the face by Hinton. They have met one time previously, as we told you. And Hinton won the national championship over McKinney, and that's a slip. Got his feet tangled up. Got his feet tangled up. So they wipe the gloves and they go back at it. Started to step across, locked his feet, lost his balance, and down he went. That's a pretty good combination work there by Kennedy McKinney. Of course, one of the things you can see some of the teachings here for Jemal Hinton by his coach, Julius Hinton. When stung, fight seriously, and he has done that. And McKinney has stung him some. Hank Johnson is the coach of McKinney. That staggered Hinton. May not have hurt him, but it certainly snapped his head back, and it stopped him in his tracks. So maybe the best blow of the fight, at least the most obvious, by McKinney. McKinney wearing the Army headgear because that's the club he's working out of. Hank Johnson, of course, Army coach, brother of Marvin Johnson, the light heavy champion. Remember that? Winding down to the final seconds, and this is not McKinney country. This belongs to Hinton. Jemal's got him pinned on the ropes and doing the scoring there. It remains, however, a tough, close fight at 119 pounds. This is about as much action as you could hope for as McKinney lands the good left hook. I think the 119 pounds is still on the line. That was a furious round of action with both men scoring heavily. McKinney much busier in that second round, and the decision may very well hang here in round number 3. Hinton, feet wide spread, good foundation. Not all that much movement by Hinton. McKinney trying to get off a little quicker now to take some of the sting out of the charge from Jemal Hinton, because when he comes loaded. McKinney so far now able to peck away and get off first with that jab, and it'll do just what you saw there, just enough out of balance to make the retaliation short. Harmon Williamson is the referee. Hinton working to the body and doing it well, and a hard one coming over the top. McKinney comes back with a wicked combination to the head of Hinton. Boy, this is a tough fight, 119-pounders. Hard right hand by Hinton, good left hand by Hinton. That hurt McKinney, but McKinney still has that left hand. He said last night with that bright, sunny smile that he carries around, he said, "I can fight. I'm mean enough. I'm tough enough." Good left, good right by McKinney. Furious flurry again, and it probably comes off about even. McKinney beats him to the punch. Now the corner told to stop coaching. You can't coach during the course of the fight. Crowd doesn't know that. They hoot. They'll jump your bones in international competition for that. Sometimes they can penalize your fighting. McKinney, Hinton pinned on the ropes, but Jemal fights his way off the ropes. You're going to need some sharp pencils for this one. Even though sometimes it comes down as a 5-0 decision, it can be very, very close on each of the scorecards. Kennedy McKinney in the blue, Jemal Hinton in the white. Hinton trying to come in for a closing flurry in the final half minute. And he's got McKinney pinned on the ropes. And Carmen Williamson is letting them stay there as long as they're fighting, and they're fighting. Now McKinney goes to the hook. Good right hand by McKinney. Now Hinton is in the corner, and it's McKinney doing the heavy scoring right here. Hinton may be in some trouble. McKinney keeps him there and scores with 3 successive hard rights. A good left and a standing 8 count by the referee, Carmen Williamson. This may have some impact on this fight as we come down to the close of it, because it was a furious rally by Kennedy McKinney. The crowd roaring from that one, and if they don't like it, I don't know what in the world it'll take. We'll be back after this commercial and a message from our local stations. All right, here's your decision at 119 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, a unanimous decision. The winner in the red corner, Kennedy McKinney.
Kennedy McKinney gets the call, and that, I think, can be safely considered something of an upset. But you saw that huge, furious closing rally of McKinney. And he simply had Jemal Hinton in the corner and wouldn't let him off the hook. And pinned there, he pounded him. He landed 3 good, hard right hands, 2 of them there. And Carmen Williamson finally decided, that's enough. I want to give this young man a standing 8 count. And he did. And shortly after the 8 count, the bell sounded, the fight ended, and Kennedy McKinney has himself a unanimous decision. And where is my microphone? I'm going to be talking to him right here. Look right in there, Kennedy. You said yesterday, I was kidding him a little bit yesterday. See that scar? He says that's not from boxing, that's from playing basketball. Yeah. But he says, I'll fight. I don't know, that sunny smile I carry around is deceiving. Well, you were right.
That's right. I told you I could fight. And I showed it right there. I fought, right? I had a grudge against him because he beat me in the finals of the National. So I had to prove something to him. And I think a lot of people thought that I won in the Nationals, and I didn't get the decision, but right here, wasn't no doubt.
No, there wasn't.
I'm champ.
The closing flurry, there have been times, I think, when someone may have suggested that you might have worked a little harder, so you carried that stamina into the final minute of the fight.
Yeah.
Boy, you sure had it today.
Oh, yeah. I worked hard for it. 30 days of hard training up in the mountains of Arizona. Hey, I deserve it. I worked for it. When you work hard, good things come to you. And I think I deserve that one.
Well, there's nobody in this building going to argue with you, my man.
I know that's right.
Now you go on to Las Vegas and the box off, which means you've got 1 more or maybe 2 more hard fights.
1 more. Ain't gonna be 2 more. It's 1 more hard fight. Whoever it may be him, it might be Mike Collins. I beat them both. I'll beat them 1 more time. Because I know I'm on the verge. They got to beat me twice, and I don't think they can do it. I don't think so.
You want that gold, don't you?
I want that gold.
Attaboy.
Thanks a lot.
Kennedy, it's nice to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kennedy McKinney. What a heck of a fight at 119 pounds. We'll go next in our live coverage to 106 pounds. They call them light flyweights. That is Michael Carbajal, and he is a very well-schooled, complete young fighter. Young man who's paying a price. Here's how much. Frank Gifford narrates.
Just after dawn in the downtown streets of Phoenix, Arizona, a lonely, almost frail figure runs. Michael Carbajal almost always follows the same route. And except for his brother and trainer Danny, who follows on a bicycle, Michael Carbajal runs alone.
I consider myself a loner because I do everything on my own, my whole routine every day, 6 days a week. By training alone and my self-discipline, I think it does give me an advantage because I never take, anybody or anyone lightly. I always perform up to my highest potential. I still push myself all the time.
Michael's lonely workouts are a result of his training in a homemade gym in the backyard, where he is the sole client. Even when the temperature crosses 100 degrees, you can find Michael going through his solitary routine, which is ironic, because Michael's upbringing was anything but lonely. This is Phoenix's Carbajal clan, gathered for a backyard barbecue. Being the youngest of Mary and Manuel Carbajal's 9 children, there were always plenty of kids around. And since most are now married with children and are still living in Phoenix, their get-togethers for birthdays, holidays, and welcome back parties for Michael mean about 30 people and plenty of food. But even surrounded by the love of his family, Michael stands somewhat apart. He has set a goal for himself, and his thoughts never stray far from that backyard gym and the vision he has of himself on a victory stand in a faraway country this September.
I'm standing on the platform in Seoul with the gold medal around my neck and hearing the national anthem. It's going to be a great feeling. My whole body's going to be all heated up there. And I'm just going to feel real warm, probably happiest I ever been in my life. I can't wait till that feeling comes, because it's going to come.
That'll give you some idea of the kind of a price that has to be paid to box at this level for a medal and pride. Michael Carbajal against Eric Griffin in a moment. The U.S. Olympic boxing trials from the pavilion in Concord, California. And we're ready now at 106 pounds, light flyweight. Michael Carbajal against this young man, Eric Griffin. Eric Griffin, coming out of the red corner and wearing the gold shirt, stands only 5'2", but he won the Western trials. Carbajal will have the height advantage of 5'5.5". That's 3.5 inches. Came in at 105.5, and Griffin just made the 106 limit. Their reach is roughly the same. Ray Cartier is the referee, and Ray is out of Cincinnati, a PhD chemical engineer. The judges for this fight are Jerry Dusenberry, Stan Hamilton, Elmo Adolph, Bob Wimberly, and this is the name of the third man, Don DeVurgis. Here we go now, the southpaw, Eric Griffin. In the gold, in the red, it is Michael Carbajal, and Eric Griffin goes right at the opposition because of his 5'2" height. And he goes in winging and stinging, just like this. Overhand right came in a little bit more open than Ray Cartier liked. So he stops for a moment to tell Eric Griffin, keep your hand closed. This is the pattern for Eric Griffin. Pressure, pressure, pressure. The opposition constantly are punching down at Eric at 5'2", 106 pounds. It doesn't seem to bother me. He's a very soft-spoken youngster. Kenny Weldon is his coach. Danny Carbajal, as you saw in the up-close and personal feature, the coach for Michael. And that's a pretty good left hand that Eric Griffin has brought to the fight today. Referee does not have a vote. They use 10-ounce gloves through the light middleweight, 156 pounds. After 156, they go to 12-ounce gloves. So these are 10-ounce gloves. And the headgear is required. And if you want to know who's really in control of things here at ringside, it's the doctor. He can stop the fight anytime he sees fit. Eric Griffin hasn't changed expression all day. He got up this morning with that same fixed look on his face, and he hasn't changed a bit. And he is winging and winging and winging right now. Griffin forcing the fight, giving the impression that he is making the fight, and perhaps here scoring the better up to that point where Carbajal nailed him with a left hand and almost put him on the seat of his britches. But Griffin just hangs in and just keeps on coming back. Michael Carbajal is he's about as good as anybody around in the world at his weight, but he's getting all he wants right now from Eric Griffin. Carbajal beat Pepe Riley and Brian Lonnon, the Armed Forces champion, to get into the trials final. Eric Griffin defeated Mark Johnson and James Harris to get here. Now the poise of Michael Carbajal perhaps starting to show a little bit. A lot of those outside flurries, the wing shots that are coming from Eric Griffin and not really scoring any points for him. Carbajal, you notice, doesn't waste a lot of energy. His punches are pretty straight, and he's pretty much coming straight at you as we come down toward the end of round number one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Carbajal become a little more assertive as the fight wears on. California for round number 2, 106 pounds. Here is the blow from Carbajal that almost dropped Griffin. That right hand, that short, straight right hand. One of the things about Carbajal, he is a heavy-handed boxer, for his weight particularly so. And he just tends to, his history is he accelerates as the fight goes on. And punching down, a heavy-handed boxer is eventually going to take his toll on a fellow the stature of Eric Griffin. But let me tell you something. Mr. Griffin's a gamer. He came out and threw everything, including somebody's hoe handle, at Carbajal in that first round, trying to fluster him, trying to find an edge, and Michael just wouldn't let him have it. His poise held him up, and now watch him go to work. Watch Carbajal go to work. Watch how precise and accurate he can be. Accuracy sometimes in the international competition may be more worthy than sure power. Carbajal in the closing minute of the first round started to work more to the body of Griffin and scored heavily to the body in the last half minute. But Eric seems to be fit so far, so apparently the toll has not taken. Well, 5'2", he gets called a lot for that, ducking his head as he tries to get into a taller opponent, giving away 3.5 inches. Griffin in the gold, Carbajal in the red. But notice the quick hands of Michael Carbajal, how accurate he can be on a short inside flurry like that. That's the left hand of Carbajal that broke up that flurry. Danny does the coaching.
That's the one.
They built the little gym in the backyard. That's the 9th Street gym that he wears on the back of his sweatshirt. He's truly, truly dedicated. When you can have this kind of dedication in this kind of a sport at age 21 while developing areas for eventual occupation in life, it carries over. Eric Griffin still trying to make the fight, still having to go straight at Michael Carbajal, but this round so far has seemingly been the possession of Carbajal as we come down to the last 15 seconds. The preciseness of Carbajal and the reach, or perhaps more height than reach. Rounds over. Well, so far this fight has followed the pattern we expected. Eric Griffin, the shorter of the two, straight ahead, a lot of punches, winging away, forcing things. Carbajal, precise, accurate, and accelerating through the second round. Now the final 3 minutes. The winner goes to the box-off next week in Las Vegas. This guarantees that. The loser, who knows? That is up to the selection committee. The most noteworthy opponent covers a lot of people at this level of amateur boxing. Pretty good right hand to the rib cage by Eric Griffin that time. But you see Carbajal, he's taken possession of the center of the ring now. And he's letting Griffin work around him, picking his spots. That's Kenny Weldon watching his young charge, Eric Griffin. Griffin is 20, born in Lafayette, Louisiana, now lives in Houston, Texas. Whereas Griffin, right now at age 20, is boxing pretty much full-time, trying to reach for that gold medal, the opportunity for it. Carbajal, on the other hand, drives a truck for a printing company in Phoenix, Arizona. takes possession of the center of the ring, as Carbajal has done, that is something of a tip-off that he may well have become the stronger of the two. But I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because Eric Griffin brings a heart as big as a mountain at 106 pounds. Griffin pay for that step inside. He nailed him with a good, solid combination to the head. Eric Griffin still winging away as we are inside now the final half minute of this 106-pound light flyweight fight. U.S. Olympic trial. And two good right hands there by Eric Griffin. He is relentless. You cannot rest with him. Carbajal trying to close with a flurry, and the fight is over. Right there. So Michael Carbajal and Eric Griffin go 9 tough minutes, and the decision is upcoming. Referee Ray Cartier is about to raise the hand of the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Michael Carbajal.
No question, Eric Griffin's heartbroken. He felt he had a better shot at it. He felt yesterday when I talked to him that he had a chance at it. But there's one perhaps revealing thing that surfaces in this level of competition. Now, Eric Griffin has never had an international fight. He's never been in international competition. Michael Carbajal, on the other hand, has fought 12 times at the international level against tough people, and he has won 8 times at the international level. And as he sits down in the chair to join me for a chat here, let me ask you, Michael, I felt that your experience at the international level, having had 12 fights and won 8 of them, may very well have been a big factor in this one.
Yeah, it was a close fight, you know. It was real tough, and I thought I put it out in the first and third rounds. He had a good second round, but they were all close rounds, and it was a tough fight.
I thought your poise, your ability, your precision, your accuracy was a big, big factor when you sort of took control in the second round.
Yeah, I'm real calm. I'm always relaxed. You know, I was taught since I was small to relax. Before, I was real tense all the time, but now I had my experience going on, and I felt real relaxed, so I think that was...
I tell you what, Michael, if you go and win a gold medal, or even if you don't win a gold medal, I'll help you lobby with Danny to get a fan put in that gym in the backyard. That place looks hot.
Yeah, it is hot. But, you know, we always thought about putting a fan, but I might end up getting sick or something. But it's hot back there, but I like it. You know, that's where I got
That's where the stamina comes from, isn't it?
That's where it comes from.
You're characterized as being a heavy-handed fighter for 106 pounds.
Yeah, I think ever since I was small, I was taught to hit with my whole body, not, you know, just pity-pat all the time. And I think I'm pretty heavy-handed also. So.
You are. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Okay, hi, Ma. Rita, hi.
Michael Carbajal, the winner at 106 pounds. And now, let's join Frank Gifford, our host.
Thank you very much, Keith. Michael Carbajal saying hello to all that family down in Phoenix, and there are a lot of them. They are celebrating right at the moment, and maybe the next time around, it'll be an Eric Griffin. But Michael Carbajal has put in that work. You saw it up close and personal, and it has paid off today. On another note in boxing today, there was a report in the New York Times today that Donald Trump would become an advisor to Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champion, both in boxing and at a financial level. Of course, the New York entrepreneur of mega proportions has been involved in many things, but I talked with him just before we went on the air. He said he was indeed seriously considering getting involved at all levels of the champion, that he had been asked by the champion to do so. He felt that the legal problems with which he was embroiled at the moment with his manager of record, Bill Caton, were all because that Mike Tyson, when he was 20 years old, signed sophisticated contracts that he was really not should not have been allowed to get involved in. He also said that, and he said this to me Tuesday night on the cruise around Manhattan, that he felt almost in a paternalistic way to Michael Tyson. He felt that he liked the young man a great deal. He also felt that Robin Givens, Michael Tyson's wife, and his mother-in-law Ruth Roper had been miscast as villains in this role, and that he likes them also. So it sounds like Donald Trump, who has been involved in many things in the New York area and also has been involved in boxing, is going to be involved in boxing in a much bigger way. Well, up ahead, we have a live interview with an Olympic champion, Sugar Ray Leonard. We're also going to have a report on other Olympic sports. 12 years ago in Montreal, Ray Leonard, a 20-year-old kid from Maryland, burst onto the boxing scene with his charismatic style. That summer, he became known to the world as Sugar Ray Leonard, gold medalist. Howard Cosell was in Montreal for Leonard's Olympic triumph.
Oh, that Cuban fighter is now in desperate trouble. Another standing 8 count. There can be no other way. We're counting down. 18 seconds, 17 seconds left in the fight. 16, 50, 14. Ray Leonard with a right lead and then a left. Cleaning up. The Cuban is ready to go. The referee stops the contest. The crowd goes wild. Ray Leonard of Palmer Park, Maryland, will go to the University of Maryland now. His dream is realized as he has won himself a gold medal.
Joining us now live from Concord, California, Ray Leonard. And Ray, you kind of whispered to yourself, that was 12 years ago. Long time. Goes quickly.
12 years ago, Frank, and I still think about it. And being here in Concord for the Olympic trials is quite reminiscing to see these young men go all out to qualify. Not just win a gold medal, but first of all, to qualify and make the team first. So I can relate to these young men. It's a long and hard road.
You were critical of this team a couple of months ago when they fought against Cuba. What do you feel about them now?
I wasn't too impressed with the team when I saw, well, it wasn't the full team. It was some of the second guys. And when they went against the Cubans in Atlantic City. But what I've seen here today rather, has been very impressive. I look forward to an enormous, very talented team for his whole career.
All right. Leonard, Ray, there have been people that have said that you are here in another capacity, not only as an advisor to the Olympic team, but you're here maybe perhaps looking for some new fighters for your own boxing stable.
That's true also.
Nothing wrong with that, is
nothing
looking
wrong
around.
First and foremost, I'm here to make sure that we have the best team qualified.
I think the critique might be that maybe you were not handling the role of the advisor as well as you were handling the role of the scout.
Well, I have yet to be given the role, and they've yet to use my knowledge and experience. But I think once we select a coach, because so far we don't have an Olympic coach, right? But once we get a coach, we'll work together to collaborate and exchange ideas, and in doing so, I think we have a better chance of bringing back gold medals.
All right, Ray, let's talk about you. Every other day we read another rumor. You may come back. You're going to fight this fighter. You're going to fight that fighter. It's going to be Hagler again. What are your plans?
Well, I haven't said anything thus far. I mean, I initially stated I would fight Hagler again, but he's resumed a career in movies. Tommy Hearns is not available. The way things stand now, Frank, I'm going to take care of the Olympic team here, and after the Olympic Games, then maybe I'll talk professional boxing as far as Ray Leonard is concerned.
Well, Ray, we appreciate you joining us once again. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Our best to Juanita, the little guys, Ray, and Bowe.
Thank you, Frank.
And good luck with you.
Thank you, Frank.
Ray Leonard, one of the great...
All right, Frank, and boy, is that a heartbreaking thing to have happen, because the road's kind of bumpy for any Olympian who wants to, as Frank said, avenge himself. We're coming up to the 165-pounders now. These are the big fellas. They put on 12-ounce gloves. Anthony Hembrick and Darrin Allen. Darrin Allen is 4-1 in 5 bouts against Hembrick. Interesting youngster, very attractive personality. Like all fathers in the world, I guess one of the first things out of my mouth when I sat down to talk to Darrin was, have you developed an occupation or a trade?
Well, no, I haven't. The program got discontinued, and I haven't pursued it. Never did. I'm a full-time boxer. I did some spot labor on the side, but for the most part, I dedicate myself to boxing. When I did quit, I did work a job, but I was I laid carpet. I was a telemarketer. I worked in a weight room. I was a janitor, dishwasher. But I said, hey, I'm a boxer, and this is what I do best, and this is what I am. And I know there's a lot of stereotypes to put on boxers, but this is what I do, and I'm proud to be a boxer.
comments from Darrin Allen to give you an idea of how strongly these young men feel about this activity they're involved in right now. Jerry Dusenberry is the referee, calling them into the center of the ring. Ed Urbeck, Ray Cartier, Marco Sarfaraz, Bob Wimberly, and Bob Stuber. Studer is occupying the number 5 position. And Jerry Dusenberry, of course, has been around for a long time, almost 20 years in officiating amateur boxing. He's a manager of communications for the U.S. government out of Portland, Oregon. 4-1 record for Darrin Allen against Anthony Hembrick. Hembrick, stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He's a corporal communications specialist in the Army. He's wearing the Army colors, gold. Darrin Allen is in the red from Columbus, Ohio. Darrin Allen opens the bout, first of 3 3-minute rounds, going to the body. Hembrick coming over the top with that looping left hook and scoring with it on the side of Allen's head. Darrin Allen has had some wars with a gentleman named John Scully. He lost to Scully in the finals of the Eastern Trials, but beat him here in the semifinals. But he was down in the dumps. And a couple of his teammates took him by the collar and just shook him and said, "Look, Allen, you're at the top of your game, the peak of your physical life. This is a chance to go to the Olympics." And yesterday, he was really pumped up. That's a good combination inside by Allen. A little bit of an edge and reach and style, perhaps, going to Hembrick, as Darrin Allen is wont sometimes to duck just a bit as he makes his move inside, but that also is the way he finds the opponent's body. There's a good left hook to the body, but Hembrick scores to the head. There's a good right hand by Hembrick, but Allen comes right back with a left hook of his own. The winner of these bouts at the Olympic trials goes to the Olympic box-off. There he'll meet the most noteworthy opponent next weekend in Las Vegas. And the winner out of Las Vegas is the one who goes to Seoul. That is done, incidentally, to alleviate a big, stunning upset of a sort. They're trying to ensure opportunity for all hands so that they make sure they send the 12 best fighters that we have to the Olympic Games. It's an acceptable thing. It's always been done that way. And everybody prepares themselves for it. But you've got to win here in Concord, California at the Olympic trials in order to guarantee your position in the box office. 165 pounders, they're using 12-ounce gloves now. And this first round is pretty spirited. Overhand right by Hembrick just missed his target, but that one didn't. He caught Allen right on the jaw. That's a good right hand up to the body by Darrin Allen. One of the things about Allen, it was just simply whether or not after he had lost about a year or so ago to Espinosa of Cuba, if he could focus himself, if he could come up with the concentration essential to continue an amateur career. And I think the answer is pretty obvious right in front of you as we come down to the end of round 1. Second round, 165 pounds, middleweights. That is Anthony Hembrick in the gold and Darrin Allen in the red shirt. Going to be kind of interesting to watch Darrin Allen here because in his history, sometimes he's slowed up in that third round, lacking stamina. There's a good overhand right by Hembrick. Allen shook it off. Anthony Hembrick beat Keith Providence and William Guthrie to get into the final, and you've already seen pretty good counterpuncher, and he uses the reach pretty well. The question mark that has been put on him is his legs, and one wonders if the leg work is sufficient for this particular category because he's not that terribly active. In other words, he's an available target sometime. And Hank Johnson, the Army coach, along with Alton Murkison, were both in the corner with him between rounds and talking to him about that. And he's come out like a raging tiger here in the second round. That was a wicked combination scored by Anthony Hembrick. Now, you would think they've had 5 fights that they would know each other so well. But, you know, there are days and there are days, and there's a right-hand lead by Hembrick that scored. Hembrick loaded in this round. There's a good left hook by Darrin Allen. And another one by Allen. And a right hand by Allen. So Allen goes back inside and comes up with an uppercut and scores with it. So they're scoring in flurries as Hembrick looks into the corner for advice from Hank Johnson. Of course, Hank's not entitled to give it, and all of a sudden Aaron nails him with another uppercut. Hembrick looks all right, but Darrin Allen definitely scored twice and goes hooks to the body, hooks to the head again. And that gets Hembrick back in motion. Hard right hand by Allen. The officials in all of the fights here at the Olympic trials, and you'll see it again next week in the Olympic box-off, get very tough on rules because the fighters simply have to be accustomed to it as they go into the international competition. There's a right hand by both fighters, and now a flurry, a solid combination by Hembrick, and Darrin Allen for a moment wanted to hold on. That's a good right hand to the body by Allen, but he takes a right from Hembrick to the head. Good flurry. I don't know how much damage, but still a good flurry by Hembrick. This is a good fight between 165-pounders. Tough grinder. So let's go into the red corner now with Darrin Allen, Wayne Pruitt, and Jerry Page. Pappy Galt is over there as well. And Hilario Rodriguez. That's Pappy Galt.
The same way we discussed. Do you hear me? It's right here. Now he's looking. Let's go in there. Stay in the middle of the ring. Middle of the
now to the other corner. Hank Johnson and Alton Markison.
Everything up. The jab. Double jab right hand. Then all of a sudden, Frank jab right hand left hook. Frank jab right hand left hook. Every time you step back, right hand left hook. Come back in with the right hand. He's made for a 2-3-2.
Hank Johnson may very well be a prime candidate to become the Olympic boxing coach if Ken Adams is not reinstated next week. The U.S. Olympic boxing trials live tomorrow at 3 Eastern and 2 Central and Pacific. And now we will go to final round. Hembrick came on strong in that second round. Question of stamina and Darrin Allen. Something to watch. And he maintained the pace. He was very efficient and very busy in the first round. Not so busy in the second. He was fighting to defend at times in the second. Good right hand by Allen. Left hand by Allen. And Hembrick does not score off the flurry. There's a right hand by Anthony, though. Anthony Hembrick of the U.S. Army boxing team in the gold. Trying to flurry with Allen. Allen missing as he went for the uppercut. He scored twice with that particular punch in the second round. Darrin sort of ducked in behind Jerry Dusenberry there for a momentary respite on the ropes. Pretty good right hand by Hembrick. Darrin Allen now showing a little fatigue because he's starting to lean in. And Anthony Hembrick, never one unwilling to step forward, waving the arm a little there, asking for a little more crowd support. Because he fancies the crowd belongs to him. That overhand right just missed. He loaded up on it and didn't get it. Good body shot by Allen. Another good body shot by Allen. Right there is a good example of why you need the headgear, because they really whacked each other as they butted heads, but no damage because of the headgear. They're both now just loading up. Both of them getting tired. Wouldn't you? gets the better of that exchange. This close fight. There's a left-right by hembrick. And Allen, a little wild now. And oftentimes that kind of wildness is a direct result of fatigue as they fall into the rope. 40 seconds to go in the round. Hembrick may have the edge in physical strength right here, though Allen comes over the top with a pretty good right hand. Darrin Allen needs to put on some pressure. He's not very busy right now. He gets Hembrick on the ropes, though, and hammers him with a very good left to the body. But Hembrick is the busier fighter. Counterpunching very well. Both tired. Lose your accuracy when you get tired. The fight is over. Well, I don't know what your feeling is, but it could be Hembrick in this instance. We'll see. Back after this commercial and a word from our local station. Now, here's your decision at 165 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. The winner in the blue corner, Anthony Hembrick. Blue corner.
How did he win it? He won it on grit and determination. He outlasted Darrin Allen. Allen slowed down from the middle of the second round on, and Hembrick got stronger and stronger. Both of them were bone dog tired at the end of it. But Hembrick had built up enough of an edge in the second and early on in the third round with flurries like that, and that got him the decision. I suspect that each one of the judges' cards might have been very close, like 60-59. Maybe a 60-58 here and there, but nonetheless, even though it's a 5-0 decision, it can still be a very close fight. And I looked up at Hank Johnson when the fight was done, and Hank had the same feeling that his man had won a fight. Now, if we can just get him over here, he's over there celebrating with his pals, and we'll have a moment to talk with him. Anthony Hembrick, who is stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, was born in Beckley, West Virginia. He is a corporal in communication. And he said yesterday with that easy, laid-back look that he likes to fancy and said, I'm going to win the fight. You did.
Say again?
Said yesterday you leaned back in your chair and announced that you were going to win it, and you did.
Yes. You know, I knew what I had to do because he was tough, and usually I always get psyched up. I get overworked in the dressing room, so in the third round, he would always pull out the third round. So I said, you know, I'm going to be nice, calm, and relaxed this time, and win enough to win the first and second round. Then the third round, just give him all, you know, and that proved to be the winning factor today.
Well, now you go on to the box-off. Do you have a feeling who it might be in Las Vegas?
It'll definitely be Dan. You know, he's proven that he's a noteworthy opponent, a worthy opponent, world champion, and he's proven that he can beat him. So, without a doubt, he'll be there, and I'm going to be up for it again, you know. Same thing, nice, calm, relaxed, ready for him. I'm happy. Can't tell?
I bet you are.
Yes.
Well, you go have a party.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Anthony Hembrick, the winner at 165 pounds. And there ain't nobody in town happier. Here's another Army man coming up. Ray Mercer against Michael Bentt. No, they're not fixing his hairdo. They're tying his helmet. That is Ray Mercer. He is the oldest fighter at 27 years of age. He's a corporal in the Army. And he sees this as a big opportunity, this up close here.
A boxer, in my eyes, is much like a gunfighter. You have to be mentally fit. You got to be strong. You got to be fast. You can't afford to make no mistakes, because when you make a mistake, you get knocked out. And me being a boxer, it's my job to knock them out instead of getting knocked out.
20 miles west of Tombstone, Arizona, is where Ray Mercer does his real fighting. Fort Huachuca, home to a number of Army training schools, and since last January, the Armed Service Boxers. That includes Corporal Ray Mercer, a 7-year Army vet. He's been a serviceman longer than a boxer.
I started boxing 2 years after I got in the service, and I never knew how to even box before I joined the service. So the Army gave me a good start at where I'm trying to go now.
That, of course, is the Olympics. But the 30 other boxers at Fort Huachuca have the same goal. The competition in the ring is fierce, and the friendship out of it is strong.
We've been here for 6 months, and we've known each other for years back. And when we get together, we really look forward to it, and we try to make the best of it. So we're going to be here training together. And we're just like a family. It's like the boxers against the world.
There you go, Mercer.
We developed independent playing basketball. We just go out there and throw the ball around, and even if you can't play, you know, you're welcome and stuff like this. And we try to help the guys, you know, by talking about them. So we get along real good.
Man, you beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
In the ring, a new attitude in the last year has made Ray a contender.
Things have changed for me in the last few fights because I try to put everything into fighting, and I just want out of it what I put into it. I'm ranked right now. I'm currently ranked #1, and I think I beat the best. I'm peaking, and I'm feeling real good, and I'm feeling like I'm going to win a gold medal.
All right, it's a big opportunity for Ray Mercer. But he goes in against, as they were wont to say, a most noteworthy opponent, Michael Bentt, who's had 11 international bouts. Michael is 22 years of age, and he has every kind of medal and trophy you can find except an Olympic gold medal. And he wants it just as much as Ray Mercer. Ray stationed in Baumholder, West Germany right now, and he is the 1988 U.S. Amateur Champion. Now, let me tell you what I think might happen here. Michael Bentt sometimes doesn't always come out stormy, but I guarantee you Ray Mercer's going to come out like a thunderstorm. That's his way. All he does is just come and come and come, and you have to fend him off. John Hollis is the referee, and here we go. Mercer, almost a little more sedate, I think, in the beginning of this fight than one might have expected. Because he has at times just come out storming. And he is not unwilling to throw both hands. Michael Bentt obviously has much the greater experience. There is no time for coasting in these Olympic trials. That's a good left hand to the body by Michael Bentt. There's a good right hand to the body by Ray Mercer. These are heavyweights up to 201 pounds. Ray Mercer weighed in at 198, stands 6'1 and a half. And Michael Bentt hit the weight limit on the nose, 201, and also stands 6'1 and a half. That is a good punishing straight left hand by Michael Bentt. There are times, though, when he may not throw it enough, may not be busy enough. This is the first round. That's Colonel Don Ho there. He has been part of the development. He has been a stimulus in the development of the U.S. boxing program, president of AIBA. As I remember, 1974, we went to the first AIBA tournament held in Havana. It was a bit rustic, but we had a good time. He's a good friend of the Prime Minister. Michael Bentt now going for the combination. Mercer standing his ground, coming with a right-hand lead, and back with a combination that jarred Michael Bentt. But again, you see the experience of Bentt taking him away as he rolls off the ropes. He's had 11 international bouts, whereas Mercer has had just 6. Many stories told about Michael Bentt, perhaps a lot of them pinning high expectations on him because all of them projected toward a professional career. But even at this point in his life, I'm not so sure. And I say that because of my talk with him yesterday, that he's all that wrapped up in a pro career at this particular point. He enjoys the sport. That's a good, short, chopping right hand by Bentt, and it shook Mercer. Coming up on a half minute to go. And of course, the biggest news, I guess, was when Michael Bentt's dad won the $2 million in the New York State Lottery, which he told me yesterday has still not been invested. It's He's laying there rolling over and over and over. Comes out of a good family. Fine young man. Ray Mercer letting Bentt reach him there with a combination and a following right over the top. It's to Ray Mercer's advantage, I think, to keep the pressure on in this heavyweight bout. All right, we go to the second round of the heavyweight bout, 201 pounds. Ray Mercer of the U.S. Army in the gold, Michael Bentt in the green and white, and Mercer comes out a little quicker and a little more aggressive here in the second round because Hank Johnson and Alton Murchison were all over him to be a little busier. You've got to be busy if you plan on winning at this level in amateur boxing. That's a bit wild there, but he'll throw that. He is not timid about leading with that right hand. Snapping left hook by Mercer. Bentt working pretty well to the body, but Michael's let himself get back on the ropes, and Mercer stings him. Bentt's a tough guy, though. When you pin him on the ropes and you think you got him, all you're doing is beating on his gloves and elbows, and suddenly he rolls out of there and he's gone. Mercer calling for a low blow, doesn't get the call, and gets wrapped around the head as he is forced back into the corner. He looked at John Hollis, the referee, begging for the call on the low blow, and left himself wide open. His good fortune is that Michael Bentt didn't have a chance to plant his feet and set on him. I won't talk to a guy here between rounds and tell you about the dangers of leaving yourself uncovered. Henry Tillman, who went through this. Now Mercer, angry, gets a little wild as he tries to go with a combination of the head. John Hollis, the referee, that time got Michael Bentt on the low blow and nails him a point. So that might prove expensive. There's the left hook, another left hook by Bentt. Both of them good to the jaw of Mercer, but Ray stays right in front of him and keeps him backed into the ropes and hammers away at him as we come up on a half minute to go in round two. Pretty good combination by Mercer. That one rocks Michael Bentt. The right hand hurts Michael Bentt. A standing 8 count for Bentt. But remember, that punch that caused the 8 count is only one punch. But that combination that led up to the 8 count was wicked. So this round took all kinds of dramatic swings. First, there was the low blow that Mercer begged on and didn't get the call. Then the second one, and that time John Hollis jumped all over Michael Bentt about it. And then there was a furious flurry by Ray Mercer that caused the 8 count. And when you're working around the belt line, sometimes it's pretty easy to let that slip down. Now let's turn to Henry Tillman, who's living in Diamond Bar, California. And of course, Henry made some noise when he knocked off Mike Tyson in the trials. There are times, I guess, Henry, when these trials are tougher than the real thing.
Yes, Keith, as we used to say when I was coming through the Olympic trials back in '84, some of these are going to be these guys' toughest fights.
Right. Now, when we saw Mercer there beg the low blow and left himself uncovered, he was very lucky that Bentt wasn't able to set on him.
Definitely, Keith. That was a big mistake on Mercer's part. He definitely can't go over in career and pull a stunt like that, because the Cubans or someone would knock his block off.
That's right. Of what you've seen so far in all of the bouts today, how do you see and read the quality of this team, Henry?
Well, it's really has picked up since Tuesday. I've been there since Tuesday, and the competition is really getting tough, and you're really getting down to the cream of the crop is what it all comes down to. Everyone is hungry.
I think Michael Bentt now has got to go all out, but I don't think Mercer's going to let him.
Definitely Michael Bentt has to go all out, but he has to go all out in Michael Bentt style, and that's boxing. He can't stand toe-to-toe with Ray Mercer. He's just too strong.
Comments from Henry Tillman, who is now a ranking professional and doing very well, and always good to see him. It's always fun to see that next generation come along. It's always good to see the passing generation go on and succeed. We're proud of you, Henry. Well, here's John Hollis now with that thumb in the air again. So John playing a very prominent role in the second and the third rounds here. But rules are rules. I mean, there's a certain degree of desperation when you get into the third round of a close, tough fight with as much at stake as these young people have here. Ray Mercer's 27 years of age. Michael Bentt's only 22, but Michael's been around in the game of boxing a lot longer than Ray. So Mercer is at full man strength right now and reasonably fresh insofar as the sport of boxing is concerned. And as he said as he walked out of the room yesterday, I'm hungry. Bentt missing with that wild right going over the ropes. Mercer almost let him have it, but walks away. It's a hard, straight left hand that Mercer's sticking in the face of Michael Bentt. That's a bit wild. We're just past the halfway point of the final round. Heavyweights and the final fight of the day in these Olympic trials. We'll have 6 more for you tomorrow. This is a war. Both of them tired now. Winner goes to the box office in Las Vegas. Then it's up to the selection committee to pick the man that he will meet there. One would probably suggest that you'll see a rematch of these two next week, live here on ABC Sports. Right now, Bentt rolling on the ropes, and Mercer trying to load up and nail it. But Bentt escaping most of that fury. Bentt gets busy now. Scores to the body and hook to the head, but Mercer comes right back and nails Michael with a straight right hand. These are two tough guys. Down the road, if you think about the people, there'd be the Cuban, there'd be Yagubkin, the Soviet fighter. He's been very prominent in around Michael Bentt's time. He's still around. Alexander still doing very well. So there are a lot of good fighters at 201. The heavyweight category, and the fight is over, and Ray Mercer thinks he's won it. Tough fight. And we'll have the decision on the heavyweight fight for you in just a moment from Concord, California. If the 27-year-old Army man has had a realization of all his efforts against a world-class amateur boxer.
The winner in the red corner, Ray Mercer.
My gosh, he almost jumped out of the building. Happy as he could be because he knew he was going up against one of the best in the world. When people start training at 201 pounds in this country these days, Michael Bentt is their textbook. Everybody knows him, knows how he works, knows his quality. He has been a target now for some time. He was a target today, and today, the man from the Army base in West Germany got him and wins the Olympic trials and guarantees himself a posture in the Olympic box-off next week in Las Vegas. And very likely we're going to see a rematch between these two. Well, congratulations, Mr. Mercer.
Thank you. Hard earned, hard fought. Feels good.
I tell you, I don't know how it could be any tougher.
That was my toughest opponent. And I've just started coming around about a year ago. And I've been in hiding. That's my toughest fight right there. And that's what a tough fight's supposed to be in the finals.
I think Michael might suggest to you now, we advertised you as the oldest of the gladiators in this tournament at 27. Michael, don't you think it's about time for him to retire?
Just get
He's a tough guy, Mike.
First thing, Keith, I'd like to say congratulations to Ray and the U.S. Army. He represents the fine. He represents the U.S. Army real fine. I think Ray should retire. Just give me another shot to make the team, and we'll take it from there.
All right, it would appear to me, looking at your weight class, that you guys are going to have a rematch next weekend.
Right.
Yeah. We'll do it again next week. Hopefully with better outcomes on my part.
We'll have more fun.
I thought perhaps, Michael, in reflection, that you might have been a little busier.
Well, as been my problem throughout this whole year competing. Making 201 is real hard. And what you saw today was a result from that. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. You've had if anything will tune you, this one will tune you. And I got one more question before we take a break here, Ray Mercer.
All right.
Did you really beat that guy to the draw in that piece we did in Tombstone, Arizona, or is that just put on?
I beat him. They slowed it down a little bit so I can get my gun off my holster. I was supposed to be the winner.
Well, congratulations. I know it's a big moment in your life, and we're proud of you.
Okay.
Proud of both of you because you're quality men. Congratulations.
We'll see you.
Michael Bentt, Ray Mercer, with Ray Mercer winning at 201 pounds. Well, through the years, every time the amateurs fought, I was there to see them and oftentimes covered it, but I've not seen a lot of these young people as often as I would enjoy. And frankly, I came here wondering if this was going to be a quality team to send to the Olympic Games. After what we've seen today, I think the probability of quality is very high, because we have seen today, I think, some young people, some very young people, who can hold their own against anybody you can put up. So if we have the same quality in the fights that are coming up tomorrow, and then carry it on into the Olympic box-off next weekend in Las Vegas, I think the United States will do just as well as one might have expected. However, there, as I understand, been one primary rules change. It is no longer necessary in international competition to have all neutral judges, and that can have some bearing on the eventual outcome of any Olympic Games. This is what happened today. The breakdown: at 106 pounds, Carbajal defeated Eric Griffin, unanimous decision. They're all unanimous today. And Kennedy McKinney with a decision over Jemal Hinton at 119 pounds in really an outstanding fight. Going on to the next level, we had a 132-pounder. It was Ellis defeating Walker. That was a unanimous decision, and again, a very, very good fight. At 147 pounds, Kenneth Gould took a decision over Ron Morgan, and Gould now hitting harder than he ever has. He used to fly around and throw a lot of punches, but now he stings you. At 165 pounds, Anthony Hembrick, who had gone in with only one win in 5 bouts against Darrin Allen, got the call today, an Army man, and the heavyweights, Ray Mercer, defeated Michael Bentt.
I'm Frank Gifford, and this afternoon at the Concord Pavilion, ABC Sports will feature 2 hours of live coverage from the Olympic boxing trials. This is the final round of action before next weekend's decisive box-off.
Critters on the prowl, all right, Frank, I'll tell you that, because these are young men who have gone through a lot of tough work to get here, and as every one of them, I think to a man, has said, I'm hungry to get my chance to go win myself an Olympic medal. The road to Seoul, if you will, operates this way under the USA ABF system as they reach across the country to find the best. Now, to get to Concord, California, you had to qualify in your weight category, 8 of them in each of the 12 weight classes, earning their way here to the Olympic trials, 2 in each weight class coming from the national championship, 2 coming from the Armed Forces Championship. So those 2 tournaments produced 4 of the 8 people. 1 each then came from the National Golden Gloves, which was held in Omaha, Nebraska. 1 each in class came from the Eastern Olympic Trials, and also 1 in each class from the Western Trials, contested in Houston, Texas. And then to round out the field, 1 in each weight class, selected by committee from the select group. So the total of 96 boxers came to Concord, went through quarterfinals and semifinals, with 24 of them getting into the finals this weekend. And then the 12 winners from Concord will go on to Las Vegas for, perhaps for some, a 2-day box-off. For others, it'll be only 1 bout. because the winners here will be facing the most noteworthy opponent in their particular category. This system was evolved by the ABF to send the 12 best to the Olympic Games. Now, from the finals yesterday, these men won the trials at their category. 106 pounds, Michael Carbajal. 119 pounds, Kennedy McKinney. 112 pounds, Arthur Johnson, a 3-2 decision over Chris Carrillo. At 156 pounds, Roy Jones defeating Frank Lyles. That also a 3-2 decision. And both decisions, personally, arguable. I rather disagreed with both of them, and so did a lot of people here at the Concord Pavilion. We've got another one coming up that should be very, very close. Carl Daniels and Ed Hopson. Both these youngsters are out of St. Louis, Missouri, and both are just 17 years of age. From Concord Pavilion in California, let's run down the rules summary. Scoring 20-point must, 5 judges. Referee doesn't have a vote. Scoring blow must land with the white knuckle portion of the glove. Headgear is attractive young people, both 17 years of age. Ed Hopson had the biggest win of his young life in the semifinals against Kelsey Banks. And as he stood breathlessly waiting for the decision and heard it, this is what happened.
And the winner in the red corner,
Now that, I would say, is unrestrained joy. But he's in today against an old pal of his, Carl Daniels. And Carl Daniels figures to be tough because, as he told me earlier, he wants the chance for the gold.
Oh, yeah. Hungry. Olympic time. Got to be. You know, everybody want to get the gold. Make it to Seoul, Korea for the Olympics. That's why he's so hungry.
Carl Daniels stands 5'8", hit the weight right on the nose this morning at 125, but only after he had devoted at least half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, sweating off half a pound. He came in a half a pound over, and he had to go work some to get rid of it. Ed Hopson had no trouble at 124. There are the vital statistics on Carl Daniels coming out of the red corner. And for Ed Hopson, he is all energy. He is all cocky nerve. He thinks he can win this fight. He thinks he can go at 17 years of age on to Seoul, Korea and win a gold medal. That's how confident he is. But as I said, he had to beat 2 tough guys. He beat Ronell Dahl, the Army champion, and Kelsey Banks to get in against his clubmate, Carl Daniels. The referee is Elmo Adolph out of Destrehan, Louisiana. Stan Hamilton, Bob Wimberly, Jerry Dusenberry, Bill Wackerly, and Vern Sweeney are the 5 judges who will make the decision on the fight. Both of them left-handers, both of them very quick. These are 125-pounders, featherweights, they're called in boxing vernacular. And it is Hopson in the white shirt, Daniels in the red shirt. Good quick little pop to the face by Hopson, works to the body, and Daniels comes back hooking to the head. Hopson showing you the kind of style early here that has marked his performances throughout the tournament. He's just been all energy. Fearless. Very important to make the fight, too, and that's one of the things Carl Daniels is going to have to look out for. He needs to keep Hopson at reach. If he lets Hopson step in like that and throw that right hand, he's going to be in trouble. Outside is the best area for Carl Daniels. The inside is where Hopson can do his most damage.
Wait, stop!
Well, Ed stands 5'3" and a quarter. Carl stands 5'8". That means Hopson's got to go underneath, and the head gets him in trouble sometimes. Here's a big, big flurry on the ropes by Hopson, but not a whole lot of damage. Daniels comes right back with a solid combination of his own. Claps his gloves together and said, all right, come on, let's do it some more. Good stiff right hand by Daniels. A punch like that by Hopson's not going to get him any scoring from the officials, but that left hand thrown in there will. That was a good solid left by Hopson, but when he threw that right hand, it was open, and that's what Elmo Adolph was talking to him about. You got to hit with the white portion of the glove. Now there is an example, I think, of what Carl Daniels needs to do, is just pick him. When he comes storming in, pick him. And on the break, Elmo felt that Daniels might have taken a little bit of opportunity. Wasn't much to the punch anyway. Tell you one thing, that Hopson sure is busy when he gets inside and gets a hold of it. Sooner or later, one of those is going to land. Hopson turned his back. Now, that's not Daniels' fault. Carl Daniels didn't do a thing in the world wrong. Ed got over there on the ropes and decided to turn his back trying to get away and walk away from him. Can't do it. You're going to turn your back on somebody unannounced, they'll knock your block off. Inside a half minute to go. Bit of an unusual style by Carl Daniels. It would seemingly make his body available, but Hopson jumps in with a right hand and popped him on the chin with it. There's another one by Hopson. There's another one by Hopson. Daniels scored with a right hand, but the non-stop action of Ed Hopson got him 3 good, solid blows to the head. As we start the second round at 125, in the center there, a videotape at the close of the last round. You see Hopson just turned and walked away. Well, there's no insurance policy for that. You got to protect yourself. That's the basic rule of boxing. Protect yourself. And he didn't. Boy, I'll tell you, Hopson goes like a whirlwind once he gets an opponent on the ropes, and he is just flailing away right there. Finally, Elmo Adolph, the referee, separates him. Hopson fighting in wicked flurries, furious flurries, and so far Carl Daniels in the red shirt has not been able to fend him off. Daniels the taller of the men, and Hopson at 5'3 and a half, sticking that helmet in the head right underneath it. I say Hopson's going to lose. He's going to lose a point if he keeps it up. Because what he's doing right now, if you get in international competition with some of the stuff he's been doing here, putting the head underneath the man's chin and things like that and holding on the ropes, they'll throw him out. He could get him a DQ real quick. But he's only 17, and he is certainly coachable. And now it is Carl Daniels' opportunity to wing away. And again, Hopson holding. Not a whole lot of polish in him, but my gosh, how much energy there is. See, Daniels spinning off the ropes there, scoring with a left, but Hopson refuses to let go, and Ed whacked him with a good right hand to the side of the head. Ed Hopson's a kind of an opponent that'll also wear you down. You get tired. He's on you all the time. Does not let you have any time to rest. There it is. There's your penalty. Told you. I know Elmo Adolph is a veteran official and has worked a lot of international competition, and he wasn't going to let it go on forever. There's a good left hand thrown by Hopson, maybe just a little short of full force. But Carl Daniels has not been able to keep Hopson off of him so far. But penalties could have a meaning. All right, that's a good exchange there, particularly good for Carl Daniels. Look out. Hopson's going to get another one. A quick right hand by Ed. Another right hand by Hopson. Carl Daniels now looking as if he wants to counter, but Hopson is so busy he doesn't give you a chance to set up a decent counter. Second round's about over. All right, we go to round number 3. Remember, Hopson lost a point in that second round. And the advice to Ed Hopson from his coach was right to the point. He was told by Roger Wadsworth.
Follow it with straight left hand. Hook underneath. You understand? Jab, straight left hand, hook underneath. When you get inside, do not hold. Pull your elbows in and work. I want to see a shoe shine in there. You need this.
Yes, he does need it because of the point being taken away, and there's a very good combination and a very good left hand by Carl Daniels. Daniels, information given to him, the most pointed comment made in his corner during the 1-minute respite. The loser, Carl, goes home. Daniels now not letting Hopson keep him on the ropes. He's spinning out of there a little quicker. Hopson works well to the body there. Two 17-year-olds, and they're both gamers. Both cute kids. They really are. Daniels trying to force things more here in round 3. He needs to. Hopson popping the right. Pretty good stuff there by Daniels, but again, Hopson just runs right through it. He just keeps on wanging away. The judgment of this fight is going to hinge in part on the accuracy of Daniels versus the wild flurries of Hopson. Two previous fights today, the accuracy of the punching had a great deal to do with 3-2 decisions. Both decisions getting a pretty good hoot from the crowd today. Bigger crowd here at the Concord Pavilion today than we had yesterday. The weather just gorgeous. And a pretty good shot by the left from Daniels there. Perhaps the most meaningful of that exchange. Daniels, who had to knock off a half pound at weigh-in this morning, might be tiring just a little bit. The swarming aggressiveness of Ed Hopson, unrelenting at the end of the fight. Well, Ed Hopson made the fight. He was penalized in the second round for holding. We'll check the decision in a moment. All right, here is the decision, 125 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by a 3-2 split decision. In the blue corner, Ed Hopson.
Well, I got a feeling that I might want to calm him down a little bit after he gets wind of the victory, because if he misses one of those flips, he might damage himself more than the opposition has. But it was the relentless pursuit by Ed Hopson, overcoming a 1-point penalty. He had a point taken away from him in the second round by the referee for holding. And he still had enough, was aggressive enough to overcome it and get the decision. And here he comes. Over here, Ed. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
You are the youngest man in the tournament, and you won the Olympic trials.
Yeah, I'm hungry for it. I want it. No, I want the ambition. Like I told you yesterday, I might be a young man. I beat a world-class fighter yesterday. I can't beat another.
You're going to, if you miss one of those flips, you know, you're going to hurt yourself more landing on your head.
Got to pack down. 6'4", got to pack down.
The thing that's impressive to me is the fact that you were able to overcome a 1-point penalty and still win it with that big third round.
Right. No, he came in, caused a beautiful counter punch, one of the best. And I know when I catch him, I know when he shoot the jab, he can hold me up, put me off on balance. Then I went in the corner, my trainer, Roger Bloodworth, said, when he shoot the jab, if he hit you with 1, you come back with 3. But if you miss the jab, you get under there, work hard, dig.
Ed, you are going to have to calm down just a tad, though, because the aggressiveness that you have, that's part of your soul and fiber, is going to get you some penalties along the way in international competition.
But here, I wasn't trying to box. I can also box. Dudes here, it's a Tuesday, and see me fight Renee Dow, I'll box him, I slick him. But these guys, well-conditioned boxers, beautiful counter punches, you got to go to fight. Sometimes, some guys, you got to fight.
You know what? You're a dandy. I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
All right. Bless your heart. Ed Hopson came out of the same stable as Carl Daniels, 17 years of age. Todd Foster is coming along next at 139 pounds, and I think you're going to enjoy this one. He's another aggressiveness against Lavell Finger. Frank Gifford introduces us up close and personal to Todd.
Todd Foster, he's a hometown boy that made good, won the Little Sullivan Award last night. And Todd, this one's for you.
Give him a fire in his heart, give him a light in his eyes, give him the wild wind for brother and the wild Montana skies.
I like the friendly people here and the big blue skies here, and it's always nice to come home.
Todd Foster has sparked a new civic pride in his hometown of Great Falls, Montana. In a city that evokes the warmth of a small town, this 20-year-old Golden Gloves champion has become everybody's hero.
I'm recognized all the time on the streets and at the golf courses. Anywhere I go, most people say hi to me and ask me how I'm doing in my career and things like that.
Sometimes things like that include being show and tell for curious local kindergartners.
This is our friend Todd Foster. He's a boxer. How many medals do you got?
About 25 medals and about 60 trophies. I try to be a good role model for the kids. Oh, it's a good feeling because I remember when I was little and I used to look up to people. I thought they were more or less God or Superman.
After seeing the knockout that won Todd a silver medal at the 1987 Pan American Games, they probably think the same of him. Despite his popularity amongst the citizens of Great Falls, Todd's most ardent fans may very well be found in his own backyard.
We have a close-knit family. In my boxing, everybody's always been behind me, you know, encouraging me that I can do it and just to stick with it. The Olympics is the biggest goal of my life right now. I've always dreamed of being in the Olympics ever since I started boxing, so this is my year.
So that's Todd Foster, and that narration is not the gift. He's sitting quietly in the shade. That was our good old pal, Jack Whitaker, who had done that piece for you on the young man from Montana, who's coming up next against Lavell. They've 3-2 decisions so far today. And now we go to 139 pounds. Todd Foster out of Great Falls, Montana, versus Lavell Finger, who is out of St. Louis, Missouri. You can see the statistics on young Foster. His mom, incidentally, is a boxing judge, and Grandma and Grandpa are here watching him fight in the finals of the Olympic trials. Lavell Finger. Now, he is a lanky sort of a fellow at 5'8½", came in at 138 pounds, no trouble making the weight limit. He got here by winning the Western Trials Championship and stepping to the center of the ring with the fighters, the referee, Tony Filippelli, who's been doing this for a quarter century. The judges are Stan Hamilton, Bob Wimberly, Jerry Dusenberry, Carmen Williamson, and Bob Studer. Now, I've got to change. I got Marco Safaraz sitting up here in a judging position, so there's been a change made on that. The changes show up sometimes at the last minute in the judging because they don't want to judge from the same state as one of the fighters. That's one of the reasons that sometimes changes are made, because you can't always predict when the original assignments are made just who's going to be there. Lavell Finger, a left-hander, starts out with a pretty good combination to the face of Todd Foster. Foster does nothing really outstanding. He's a tough, grinder kind of guy, very sound, very well schooled, and is the kind of a boxer who'll wear you down. But Finger starts out pretty well. He just popped that right hand into the face of Foster. Foster stands 5'8", Finger 5'8½". The reach is virtually the same, half an inch or so difference. Edge going to Finger. Oh, good right hand to the body by Foster. Bit of a slapping combination there by Finger, not seemingly to bother. Foster's a tough kid. He just comes at you and has no history of cuts or anything like that. Finger has won according to his record. That's a pretty good left hand right there by Finger. That one was blocked. He's won over 200 fights. International record is 2-0. Foster, on the other hand, is 9-3 international. Lou Duva is in the corner today of Todd Foster. Lou's been in a lot of corners with a lot of fighters through the years. Foster now going to the body, going to the head with the right hand. And in the first minute or so, Lavell Finger looking pretty sharp. Foster now seemingly trying to make a move. There's the left by Foster to the face of Finger. Foster's in the white. Lavell Finger wearing the old colors out of the Western Trial. Foster got there just a little bit before Finger in that last exchange. When you get there first, you take the sting out of the other fellow's reaction or retaliation. Finger working well there. Hard left hand to the body, going underneath the rib cage by Foster. It's that kind of a blow that'll slow your feet down in the third round. Inside the final minute, good right hand by Todd Foster. Finger good in the first minute. Foster started to come on at about the halfway point of round number one. Oh, those are quick body shots by Todd Foster. Finger looks into the corner. Body work by Todd Foster, pronounced here in the final minute of round one. Finger needs to keep him at range, keep him away, and stay busy. Foster gets inside, he gets very busy and very punishing. We go to the second round at 139 pounds. Finger opened well, keeping Foster at range. Foster trying to reach. Needs to pull up his britches. The trunks have slipped down here a bit on Todd Foster. But Foster started to get his feet in closer to the opponent and started to nail him late in the round. Lavell Finger and his twin brother, Terrell Finger, watching from ringside and rooting as hard as he can.
Sit down on that left. Once he get it range. Once he get it range, throw it.
You start reaching, you don't have anything on your punches, and there was a good bit of a lecture in Todd Foster's corner about that from Kenny Weldon. Get your feet in so you can set yourself and put something on the punch. And that's what he did in the closing minute, particularly of the first round. This is round two of these 139-pounders. The winner goes to Las Vegas next weekend for the box off. Loser goes home. Maybe. Never know. The select committee has got to pick the most noteworthy opponent for the winner of this bout. And these two this week have certainly been noteworthy. That's Foster. He got his feet in close and was able to have the leverage. And whacked Finger pretty well to the head. It was all body for Foster in the closing minute of the first round. So far here in the second round, he hasn't done much to the body, but dug a left in there that time. A good right hand to the body there by Foster. I thought Finger got the better of that exchange. One particularly good left hand, and it looked as if Foster might have been stung a bit because he comes storming off the rope. Lands a hard right to the face. Foster getting a little uncharacteristically wild here in the middle of the round. What's a good right hand to the body of Finger? Foster really whams him when he gets in that close. There's another one. There's another one. That was a right and a left by Finger. Good right hand to the body by Foster as they wail away on the ropes at the end of the round. As we go to round 3, 139 pounds, let you hear what was said in Todd Foster's corner by Kenny Weldon.
You got one round apiece. This is the championship round right now. You understand? Now, you went out there single stepping and coming up short again, and you're not moving your hands. You understand? Hey, Todd, hey, stop thinking about trying to knock this guy out. Forget about knocking him out. Let's start thinking about speed, okay?
Single stepping. That was a big, big problem for him early on in round 1 and in the second round as well. He didn't go to the body in the second round. And right now, Finger, realizing that he had won that second round, is trying to outquick him. And Foster now has got to make the fight. He has got to stay busy. And Lavell Finger is not going to give up his territory easily, is he? This has got your crowd up. Woo. Big right hand by Foster. Otherwise, it's a draw. There are the grandparents of Todd Foster. This non-stop in this third round by both men.
Keep going!
Foster to the body, Finger to the head. Lavell gets a word from Tony Filippelli because he's the one who put his head down. Good right hand by Foster. Big right hand there. He continues to pound the body, and judges like that. They'll score a body punch just as quickly as they'll score a head punch. Finger going up and Foster going to the body. And both of them gamers. They're going right down to the last ounce of energy is spent. That's one of the weaknesses that Todd Foster has. He slips back onto that rope and he stays there too long, and they were talking to him about that. Lavell Finger, unyielding. He too cautioned in his corner that the decision was on the line in the final 3 minutes, and they've got 40 seconds to go. Punching. Foster digging. Really hammering to the body while Finger works to the head. Classic amateur boxing. That would not yield. And we'll be back with the decision in a moment.
We'll be making the presentations.
139 pounds. Your decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of bout number 4, 139 pounds. Unanimous decision in the red corner, Todd Foster.
Well, I made the point a number of times during the round that a good solid body punch counts just as much as a punch to the head. And while Lavell Finger showed all the courage in the world, I mean, he just fought non-stop. And there was the hammering to the body by Foster that you could just hear the thumps throughout the Concord Pavilion. Foster went flat in the second round, and Finger won that round. But in the third round, while Lavell was trying to go successfully to the head, Foster were scoring heavily to the body, and that's where the decision was made. And the grandparents came soaring right out of their seats when the decision was given for the man from Montana. And Todd Foster, who had some doubts, he seemingly thought he had won the fight, but there was a shadow of doubt across his face, and then suddenly the announcement, and he will have earned a trip to the box off in Las Vegas with that performance, because the third round was a classic. The third round reflecting very clearly why there's an awful lot of us who enjoy this particular phase of boxing, because it's sportsmanship, it's young people, and they're not picking up scars here that are going to last them very long, but it's simply part of the learning process. And here he is, from Great Falls, native son of Missoula, the pounder to the body. Boy, you really worked on that body, Todd.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to say hi to my mother who couldn't come, and hi to my fiancée, Julie, and everybody back home. That was my game plan, to go to the body and stick to it, because that'll wear him down, and he was a good fighter. All the credit to Lavell.
I heard the conversation in your corner, though, in that second round, when you tended to sit back against the ropes a little bit and sort of went flat and finger won it, that you had to get off that rope.
Yeah, I had to get off the ropes. That's not my fight. I can fight off the ropes, but in order to win the amateur fights, you can't box off the ropes.
Right, you can't. Body punch counts just as much as one to the head, though. May not be as flashy or as obvious, but these judges see them.
Yeah, it counts the same. It's not as flashy, but it takes a toll more than a headshot, I think, unless you really get a good shot on the guy. And that was my plan, to attack the body, and that's what I do the best.
You may very well see that guy again.
Oh, yeah. All the credit to Lavell. That's the third time I fought him, and every time it's a tough fight, and I'd like to see him again at Las Vegas.
We're looking forward to it. He has two to go at 178, and the super heavyweight, Al Cole and Robert Salters. You know, oftentimes I've characterized coaching, Hank, as management of people. That's pretty much what it is, because the physical ability oftentimes is comparable, even at this level of amateur boxing.
You're exactly right. One thing we have to do is a lot of talking, a lot of psychology. You know, most people don't realize that boxers are people, and they have problems and situations occurring during their training that we have to take care of, and you have to address them as such, because if you don't straighten out their personal problems, then you got an athlete that will not perform at his top of his ability, even if he's trying to bag him up. Just stand in charge of the bout.
Now, Salters is a guy that got into a novice tournament, I understand, won the tournament, and you said, hey, big man, come with me.
Robert Salters. Unbelievable how far that young man has come this year. I think he will be victorious in this tournament. He's still a little inexperienced, but we don't have a problem with Bowe, because I don't feel like Bowe can change his style. Bowe is an aggressive type boxer, and he has one speed, and that's forward. Now, in the way that we have been teaching Salters, he can box. And I think that's enough to take him to the championship in this bout.
Ken Adams suspended, gets a hearing next week. The decision to be made on whether or not he comes back as the Olympic coach or whether somebody else will be appointed. Would you like to be the Olympic coach, Hank Johnson? Frank is a gentleman who's been associated with amateur boxing the better part of his life. 1976, 1980, and 1984 Olympians. Pat Nappy, shown here working with a former Olympian, Terrell Biggs, sitting with me right now. Patrick, what do you think of this crop of youngsters we've got getting ready to go to Seoul?
I think we've got a real good talent, Keith, and I think they will do well in this coming Olympics.
Is it a bit of a surprise, though? Some of these young people hadn't really turned it up, and they got here to Concord, I guess, and realized how high the stakes were, and they've really shown a talent I didn't think some of them had.
Yes, and the reason for that is, too, Keith, is this is the first time they've all gotten one place together.
A lot of good things. 178 pounds, light heavyweight, Bomani Parker from Richmond, California, goes against the Army's Al Cole. It's in some degree, I guess, a home crowd for Bomani Parker, because Richmond is just over the hill here, this big, the Diablo Valley, and he makes this comment about the crowd.
Well, you hear the crowd at the beginning of the fight when they introduce your name, and during the fight, every time you land a good shot, you do hear the roar of the crowd, so Yes, I think the crowd is going to be a big boosting factor.
Well, the crowd coming up for the introduction of Bomani Parker, a 1986 high school graduate from John F. Kennedy High. He legally changed his name from Parker White in 1987. He goes against a tough guy out of the Army, the 88 champion, Al Cole. Al Cole has a 6-0 international record. He's seasoned. Ed Urbeck is the referee for this fight. And Eddie has been at it a long time. He started in the 1948 Olympic trials. He's out of Shrewsbury, Mass. So it is Parker in the blue and Al Cole in the gold of the Army team. Bomani Parker is not much of a swarmer. He'll throw the jab, and then once in a while he'll load that left hand and ring your bell with it. Al Cole, on the other hand, might tend to stay a little bit busier, but we'll just have to see here what happens. The general feeling was that Parker might need to be busier in this fight than he has in some others. Incidentally, back in 1986, Parker beat Alexander Yagubkin, the Soviet, who, the times I've seen him, it's just been terribly tough. And Bomani Parker now tending to work early on here to the body of Al Cole. Parker stands 6'1 1/4. Cole, on the other hand, is 6'3 1/4. And that's quite tall for a light heavy. Neither one had any trouble making weight today. Both these boxers well schooled. Both have good legs. Right hand over the top by Cole in that exchange as Parker staying inside. Parker goes to the body, hooks again to the body. Bomani picked up some tickets as a pretty good delegation here, and Parker lunging into Al Cole, and they both go tumbling down. Nobody said it was easy. Pretty good short right hand by Al Cole in that exchange. Right hand over the top again by Parker. 178 pounds, Cole's the gold, and Bomani Parker's in the blue shirt. Parker beat Terry Groom and Raz Chapin to get here to the finals. Chapin, a young man from Petaluma, California. I think somebody's talked to Bomani about being a little busier because he has been quite busy, and that was a very good rattling combination to the head of Al Cole right there. Cole, the 1988 Army champion. Starting to flurry a bit more, get a little busier toward the close of the round, but he lost in that exchange with Parker. Cole defeated Andre Maynard, the 88 amateur champion, and Philip Jackson on his way to the finals of the Olympic trial. First round's about over. We are in the second round of the light heavyweight category, 178 pounds. Bomani Parker is in the blue and Al Cole in the Army gold. And boy, that was a wicked right hand right there by Al Cole. Maybe the best punch of the fight for him. Hank Johnson all over it in the round, after the round in the corner, and exhorting him to get busier. The judges are Gene Reese, Carmen Williamson, John Hollis, Tony Filippelli, Vern DeVergis. Cole, much more accurate and much busier here in the early going. Twice now he has rattled Bomani Parker. Sugar Ray Leonard among those at ringside. He's the technical advisor to the U.S. Olympic team. the biz here, and that is the third good right hand that Cole has landed here in the second round. Bomani Parker is tagged by a fourth right hand. Looks a pretty good hook in himself there. Riddick doing most of the talking right now to Parker. Final minute. Now let's see if Bomani Parker tries to turn it on here in the late going. He's been pretty quiet so far in this round. Al Cole is not giving Parker a chance to load anything. Third round. There's another right hand by Cole. Another one by Cole. That right hand has done a lot of damage to Bomani Parker, but there's an awfully good left hand thrown by Parker right there. Snapping Al Cole's head back. Round two, 178 pounds, and let's go into the corner with Al Cole as Hank Johnson talks to him.
Well, suck it in, Cole. You gotta suck it up now. Come on, suck it in. Suck it in, Cole. Suck it up, deep breath. Come on. Don't chop. One more time. Come on, suck it in real deep. All right, Cole, you pull him back. When you hurt him, you pull him back. Don't pull back, come right back on him. You know when you got him hurt. You know when you got him hurt, right? Can you see when his knees buckle? Come right back on him. Right back on him. Hit him with a good right hand level. 4-3-2 is working. 4-3-2 is working, Cole. But you abandon the jab. Stay with the jab now. Don't worry about that. Stay with the jab on the inside. 4-3-2 is working. All combinations are working. Give me a 3-punch, no less than 3-punch combination. Get on him. You got to get this round. You got to go. You got to suck it up and get there.
Fight is probably 1-1 in rounds. Points, I have no idea. There are 5 judges going to make that call. But it might very well hang here, and it's been the right hand of Al Cole that's turned this fight in his favor. The second time now, Eddie Urbeck has talked to Parker about hooking the hand behind the head. Next time, he'll ding him a point. Parker, good rally there. But he got inside for a combination there and landed. Solid blows, left and a right. Bomani Parker needs to look for some win. There's a pretty good right hand over the defense of Al Cole. There's another one hooked over. But the ropes is no place for Bomani Parker right now. See him take that deep breath. Parker is able to reach Cole with that right hand coming over the top, but I don't know how much is on it. Seemingly hasn't bothered Cole a whole lot. Both of them getting a little tired now. than a minute to go in the fight. 3 3-minute rounds using 12-ounce gloves. Ooh, pretty good left hook by Cole. Seemingly, you sense that he has the edge right now. Boy, he just landed a right hand there, but Bomani Parker looking right at him, kid's coming right at him. Tough fight, couple of pretty good looking light heavyweights, 178 pounds. Al Cole and Bomani Parker. And the fight's over. And we'll be back with a decision. In your pavilion, your decision at 178 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, the decision, 5-0 in favor of Alfred Cole, blue corner.
Al Cole of the Army team. He is the 4th winner that the Army team has produced here at the Olympic trials. And so he goes on to Las Vegas for the box off, and we'll have to wait. Hopefully we're going to know who most of the noteworthy opponents are that'll be boxing next week against the winners here at the Olympic trials. So Al Cole is the winner over Bomani Parker at 247 1/4 pounds, 6'4", Robert Salters against Riddick Bowe. Salters, a surgeon, administrative specialist in field artillery. He is stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and coached by Hank Johnson. He joined a novice tournament at Fort Bragg, won it. Hank plucked him out of the crowd and said, "Big man, you're coming with me." Riddick Bowe, 6'4 1/2", 231 pounds. Born in Brooklyn, lives there in Brownsville. International record of 3-4, 99-16. These are big men. You need a big referee, right? We got one. Stan Hamilton from Knoxville, Tennessee. The judges are Messrs. Reese, Williamson, Hollis, Filippelli, and Sweeney. Salters got into the finals against Riddick Bowe, stopping Daniel Fikes and Kermit Fitzpatrick. Bowe won over Nathaniel Fitch and Louis Savarese. Salters very strong. Riddick Bowe sprained his right ankle during the competition, had surgery on his right hand earlier this year. Bowe also has a bruised right hand and quite a decent jab. Showing some early power. Remember, in amateur boxing, that only counts as one punch. But I'm sure it has already had some effect on Robert Salters. And Robert, who had a relatively easy time getting into the finals, realizing that Riddick Bowe is a worthy opponent. Riddick is told to keep his head up. Robert Salters has had only 20 fights and no international fights. Riddick Bowe, on the other hand, has a reported record of 99-16 as an amateur. These are two good big men. Salters stung him down here in the first round. Salters, who I said has had only 20 fights. Salters pretty much comes right at you, punch you. He's a target standing there, but he has tremendous power. Drives Bowe back into the corner. Robert Salters stopped Riddick Bowe in their only previous meeting. Stopped in the second round in the National. Salters won the National, beating Kermit Fitzpatrick. He's also the Army champion and the Armed Forces champion. To go first round, and the big moment was Riddick Bowe putting Salters on the deck. Kennedy McKinney named the outstanding boxer among the lighter weights earlier today. Remember, he got off the floor to win. Robert Salters, the super heavyweight, is going to try to do the same thing in a big flurry on the ropes in the closing seconds of the first round. Here we go, round two, super heavyweights, and I mean they're big ones. Riddick Bowe in the red shirt, 231, and Robert Salters, 247, and Salters comes out with a furious rally. Bowe put him down in the first round. Robert Salters, the Army sergeant, got a stern lecture in the corner, and he has come out here in the second round, taking it to Bowe. Now the thought is that Riddick needs to fend him off. He does land a solid left hand right there, but allows himself to be bowled back onto the ropes, and he's staying there. And I don't think that's a particularly good place for him. So I must say, Robert Salters has not done any damage to Riddick Bowe, as Bowe has rested a bit on the ropes. Dan Hamilton, the referee. Salters needing, I think, to get a little wind after that big opening first. Stiff left hand by Bowe. Good left hook by Bowe. As Salters came in, Riddick caught him. The uppercut inside by Salters doing some damage to Bowe. I think Bowe needs to get out of that corner. This is tough business here. Grinding business. Salters not very active. He's pretty much a stationary target, but Riddick Bowe in the second round has not been able to take much advantage of it. Because each time he has started, Salters has out-flurried him. That popping left jab by Bowe. It's a good one. Maybe doesn't use it as much as he should. There's a good, pretty good right hand by Salters there. But Bowe turned away from it and took it on the side of the headgear. This now becomes a test of endurance. This kind, as long as they're punching, as long as they're free to punch, Dan Hamilton's going to let them hang in there. And maybe Salters got the better of that. Been a much better round for Robert Salters in the first. And we'll stay. So let's go to the Army corner in a moment. First, we'll look here as Riddick Bowe was pinned in the corner by Salters and see the uppercuts. That's tough stuff, boy. Whew. That'll get your dentist on the phone. No. All right, to the corner of Riddick Bowe.
Riddick, all you got is 3 minutes, my man. 3 minutes. And you got to push. You got to push. You're letting this man take you all over the place.
Just upside.
Deep breath, Riddick. Deep breath. There's no tomorrow. There's no
step back. We was working on half a step back. Keep the left hand and throw it.
Okay.
Don't lay on him.
All right.
Stay all the way where you can punch. On the inside, don't let him rip this off. You see him do that, you come right back on top with yours.
I'll step out, right?
I'll step out. You finish the combination on top.
Okay.
Right. But start it with the jab. Now establish the jab, right hand to the body and hook to the head. I want double jab.
This is Salters' 21st fight. He's obviously very coachable. He's going to get rougher and rougher, but right now he's got a major problem in handling Riddick Bowe. Round number 3. Bowe was not terribly busy. That's a pretty good right by Salters. He was not a straight right. It was sort of a clubbing right. There's that good left hand by Bowe. a little while. That's inexperience. As much as anything. Riddick trying to step in with that left hook and missed with it. Riddick Bowe here in the third round with the fight in balance is not willing to let Salters pin him. That's a good right hand by Riddick Bowe. Wicked right. Another one by Bowe. Salters is in trouble. Salters in trouble. Bowe hammering him with lefts and rights. And Robert Salters right now trying to hang on. And Bowe is peppering him. Riddick Bowe has control. Salters hurt. Good right hand by Salters as he fights back. Showing some recuperative powers. It looked for a moment like Riddick Bowe might take him down again. Salters got off the hook with a good right hand. Halfway, round 3. Nailed it. Bowe is relatively inactive now. Has he run out of gas? 40 seconds. Bowe's very tired. Both of them tired. But fatigue may be a little heavier on Riddick Bowe. A sort of a slapping left hand to the side of the head. I don't think either man right now is strong enough to take the other down. It's a pretty good heavyweight fight as Bowe now scores to the side of the head going into the final seconds of a good, tough, heavyweight, super heavyweight fight. Both of them so tired they can just hang on to each other for a moment. But Riddick Bowe, who was stopped in the second round in the Nationals by Robert Salters, came out today and established territory. He put Salters on the deck in the first round and had him in serious trouble in the third round. Riddick Bowe with Salters shaken up from a right hand, Bowe staying on top of him, and it was this exchange, I think, where Riddick spent an awful lot of his energy, and Robert Salters was able to fend him off, landing a very good right hand. Now, the right hand of Robert Salters is lethal. Probably in time will be taught to throw more of those right hand leads because he is quick with it, and he seems to have very good leverage with it when he does throw it. So he's not terribly pleased with his performance. I think he reflected that right there. 247-pounder against Riddick Bowe, who came in at 231, and both of them very active and both looking pretty good. So these may be two of the better young heavyweights that we've had come along here in some time. And these are heavies at 231 and 247. Since Robert Salters got his late start, he's 25 years of age now, but he's probably very near the ultimate of his man's strength, and he seems to be a good quick learner. So we shall see what we shall see when the final votes are tallied, and they're collecting them now, and we'll handle it with as much dispatch as possible.
Thank you.
So we have come to the end of the Olympic trials in Concord, California. There is a jury, incidentally. If it goes to a disputed vote, then they might have to call for the jury. Stan Hamilton just walked by and said, phew, that's hard work. These are two big men to handle in the ring. And Stan, the biggest, I think, he and John Hollis, the biggest people among the officiating ranks, the referees.
Who's there?
All right, we're just about ready for the decision of the super heavyweights. The winners go on to Las Vegas for the box-off. And let me explain while we're waiting here the box-off. The trials winners, if they win next Saturday, and everybody fights next Saturday, if the Olympic trials winner wins on Saturday, he doesn't fight on Sunday.
Here we go,
If he
ladies and
should lose
gentlemen,
on
the
Saturday,
winner by
they fight
a
again
4-1 decision.
4-1 decision here.
In the red corner.
It is Robert Salters, 4-1. So, Robert Salters was put down in the first round and got up and won the fight. And he won the fight as much as anything by just simply outlasting Riddick Bowe. Here's the knockdown. Well, Riddick at that particular point in time took on an immense dose of confidence, and I think probably felt that he could handle him. But Salters was unrelenting, kept the pressure on, and Bowe tired, and Salters won the fight. The floor to do it. Robert, congratulations, and what in the world went through your mind when you suddenly realized you were on the deck?
Well, I'll tell you, that was the very first time that I had ever been put down on the deck like that. Well, I had never been put on the deck before, but it grabbed my attention and let me know that I was going to have to get up and stay alert.
Were you, in fact, hurt or just stunned?
I was stunned. I was very stunned, you know. Like I said, I had never been put down like that before. And, you know, I just knew that I had to get up and fight.
You've only had 21 fights now, I guess.
Yes.
That's right. You're certainly coachable. It looks like now that you're just beginning to gain momentum. Get ready for, hopefully, the trip to Seoul.
Well, that's my goal right now. I plan to be on that trip. I know that I have to fight Riddick Bowe again because he's my most noteworthy opponent. I'll be ready for him this time, and you can believe I won't hit the mat.
All right, Robert, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Robert Salters, who won super heavyweight. Now, here are the winners from this weekend of Olympic trials. 106, Michael Carbajal. 119, Kennedy McKinney. 132, Romalis Ellis. 147, Kenneth Gould. 165, Anthony Hembrick. And 201, Ray Mercer. Those were the people who won on Saturday. Today, Arthur Johnson, Ed Hopson, Todd Foster, Roy Jones, Al Cole, and Robert Salters were the winners. So, we have now moved to the final stage of preparation for the Olympic team, picking the Olympic team. Let me carefully explain this box-off business. The winners here at the Olympic trials go into Las Vegas next Saturday. Everybody boxes on Saturday. If the Olympic trials winners win again next Saturday, they don't fight Sunday. But if an Olympic trials winner should lose in the box-off, then he has, in effect, a repechage, another opportunity. That's the story. Let's rejoin Frank Gifford.
Thank you, Keith. A very busy day. We reported earlier that Bella Caroli, the great gymnastics coach and the head of the U.S. delegation to Seoul, had resigned that role yesterday. About 15 minutes ago, we caught up with Belly in Houston. Here are his comments about that resignation.
Yesterday, we had a very unhappy surprise.